And this is the full-time officers for CASS and Computing and Digital Media. Please step forward. Yeah, just take a seat.
Who'd like to make photo can do me. With big pleasure. You look perfect.
All right, take a seat, please. Thank you. Take a seat. And once again, guys, I'll repeat you at time, so keep your answers to a brief. And I will start with Jessica.
Cheers, thanks. This is okay. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, I'm Jessica, and I am your current full-time officer for the CASS, and I am. And I'm running for the position for full-time officer for the CASS and for the School of Computing and Digital Media. I think it's really amazing this year that these two schools have combined in terms of representation. I think there's a lot of potential collaborations that could be made between the two schools in terms of the creative fields. So yeah, super excited about that. Basically, I've been doing this role for a couple of months now, and I feel like I've made a lot of positive contributions for the students and to the Students' Union as well. So I'm just going to tell you a couple of things that I've done and then a couple of things that I'm hoping to do if I were to be re-elected. So yeah, I've started to link the CASS with computing digital media courses, such as theatre and performance with digital media, film and broadcast production with creative writing, but obviously there's a lot more collaborations to be made on that as well. I've begun development for permanent exhibition space at the Holloway campus, and I'm in progress with developing one at the Aldgate campus as well. This is an ongoing project, and it's something I'm working with with like current students and alumni as well. 2 years ago we lost Central House, so it means we lost exhibition space, so it's really important that we get that back. I've facilitated a fundraising event with architecture students, which we raised over £800 for refugees in Athens. I've also contributed to the sustainability of the SU whilst raising money for local charities. But yeah, that's just a few things that I've done. So I'm just going to tell you about some things that I wish to do if I was re-elected. So I really want to increase the Students' Union presence at the Aldgate campus by ensuring that there's always a member of staff there in the office. As a consequence, then this will ensure the students to know like what the SU can actually do for them, and so they can utilise the facilities and the support there as well. I want to look at developing bursaries and extension deadlines to help develop extra support for students. I want to look at the structure of the student reps, create more events and meetings for them to get actively involved within their roles and within the SU, and for there to be more attendance and more representation at these committees. But yes, that's just a few things that I want to do. I don't know everything, I don't have the answers to everything. Like, I'm learning each day about the role, about my school and about myself. So yeah, I mean, I love representing my school and working on behalf of my fellow students. I would love the opportunity to carry on this representation, not just for CASS or CDM, but for the university.
Hello, my name's Emma O'Hara. I am a theatre and performance practice third year student. And part of the student experience for me, you know, is this idea of collaboration between schools, between courses in different schools, between the courses that your school has. It's incredibly important. Jessica is exactly right. It's incredibly important that we combine computing and digital media with the CASS, because it enables us to, you know, collaborate between us. It opens doors for us. We shouldn't see it as from a sabbatical officer point of view, we shouldn't see that as like holding us back, like, or having to divide our time between the two. In fact, actually, it will work a lot better for everyone if we really champion this idea of collaborations, cross-contaminations between the courses and schools. It will be very valuable. Part of my manifesto is that my slogan is collaboration is key. I think that I'm glad you found that funny, because I didn't. The university experience, it really, really works. It's centered around like certain things, and one of those things is the idea of collaboration. Your time at university is very valuable. My time here is very valuable too, and that's why I really want to stay another year and make as many changes as I can while I am. For me, across the 3 years, like it's been, especially on these more vocational courses, it's a real, it gives you like a chance to really develop who you are and how you work with others. University in general, the whole experience is kind of tarnished by assignments, and I think that if you think about university as just a series of deadlines, you are never ever going to actually fully enjoy it. Part of the university experience for me is that having fun, meeting new people and creating those opportunities for yourselves. If we as students, and I speak as a student right now, if we as students don't make those opportunities for ourselves, we've wasted our time here. And what we need is, we need the support from the people who are actually educating us. We need the support from the people who are already on the inside, and we need to be nurtured in our development, nurtured through these collaborative, creational little babies that we're going to make. So the 3 years that you spend here, they're just the first step. You know, you've got your whole rest of your career, your whole rest of your life ahead of you. And if you don't take advantage of those things that are being presented to you, then how are you ever going to do it? Thank you, Eddie. I'm done.
Can I sit? Can I continue? My first proposition next time to buy. My first proposition to make clepsydra to turn 2 minutes next time. This will be more visible. And my name is Georgi Labrunin, or you can call me also simple Giorgione, which means big or mature George in Italian. And I have no chance to run against such a nice and clever competitors, but I will try to explain something. First, we live in and studying in one of the best, or maybe the best town in the world, but now more and more dangerous. If you know, now there's not only suburbs, but even in South Kensington, happening stabbing. And my first, before this was in the middle, now this is first, to ask doctors of street, this charity organization, to come and to make some lessons how to survive, because first 15-20 minutes, if you survive, later you will be helped. If not, and this is sometimes more or less easy to stop bleeding, and they're also very compact stuff, which if you carry with you, this will save your life, you know. This is first. Second, I would like to help to establish contacts between CASS and different faculties with a lot of places, a lot of universities where or I'm studied or I visited before. For example, I graduated Italian Academy Brera. This is the biggest Italian academy. And I've been in Cape Town University, in Norwegian universities, and I have still friends in Moscow University of architecture, which is very famous, more than 150 years old. This will help later to look for work, but this is also interesting and maybe can be useful my 6 languages, approximately the same low level as my English. I have other 5-6 languages. And this means I can speak with you in Portuguese, in Spanish, in Italian, Polish, Russian, a little bit German, a little bit French. Because my area, I travel and I lived just from Urali Mountain, Middle Asia, north of Norway, a lot of times, twice in South Africa, for example, Cape Town, I love this place, and all Europe, for example, south of Europe. And third position, which I think very important, you talk already about possibility, to give possibility for employment, etc. We have nice tool and nice editor of our magazine, Werf, and I would like to share between students, possible to print a lot of projects, a lot of small articles, and this will be a real publication. I would like to invite people for 5-10 pounds to Royal Opera House. Nobody know about these tickets. Instead of to pay 200, the same opera you can listen. About ecology, we can make economy of money if you switch in light when we're going out of the class, and to buy special, very nice stuff, ionizer of air and water.
Thank you, guys. And I shall open the panel up for any questions. If any of you guys got any questions, speak now.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. at the back. Don't worry, there's a microphone, man. Let me get it.
What I'd like to know from all of you is that investigation, as a student leader, you should be focused on the increase, enlarge the number of students at the university. I'm an alumni, I'm not a student anymore, but I'm here because my concern is that this university will disappear in maybe 5 years. I would say, I don't know. Well, please, no issue.
Before you said the 5
So,
disappears in 5 years.
Could you just repeat your question, please?
Oh, my question was, what will you do in order to increase the number of students at London Metropolitan University?
Did you get the question?
How do you increase the number of students here at the university? Was the question in general?
I think the first things is like, okay, there's a certain amount of capacity a course can hold based on what staff that we have, and I think the main priority, rather than getting the students into the university, is retention. I think that is what we have to look at before we look at who else can we get in here. It's who can we keep in here, and we have to approach that from different angles, whether that being we're looking at mental health and well-being, or we're looking at the activities that students want to get involved in, or we just have to look at the demographics of our students and see what it is, what they want and what they need. But yeah, I think retention is the thing that we need to look at before we look at bringing everybody else in. I don't know if I worded that how.
I think Jessica really summed that up very, very nicely. I think also, like, one of the best things about the CASS and School of Computing and Digital Media is actually that the courses they have only allow a certain amount of people, because they tailor-make your academia for you, for the spec of the students that are there at that particular time. I think that, in particular, like on my degree, like the contact hours are really solid, and the time that we get depends exactly on how many people are in those classes. So if we were to expand those classes and we were to like potentially double the amount of students that we take in every year, it's very, very difficult to tailor-make that education to completely give the exact spec that those individual students need, because we have to see them as individuals. We can't see them as, these are all theatre students, these all study music, these all do creative writing. Like, they're individual students, and in order to really refine the education that they're getting, it's very important that we don't fill over capacity, because the attention of the academics as well, it needs to be divided into the individual people. It can't just be a wash over lots and lots of different people that actually need really, really specific things. So I think first what we need to do is, in order to enable us to provide the exact spec that each student needs and requires, I think that it takes an infinite amount of detail and time and dedication to just providing that for the students we have at the minute. And at the moment, this university is doing a good job, but it's not the best job that they could be doing. You know, there's always room for improvement. So before we allow more students to come in, I think we need to refine what we're actually supplying them with.
Okay, I think we have to do our university better, but also more famous, much more famous. And two, as I tell, we have as nice magazine with nice people who work in this magazine. A lot of information we can put on the pages, which now only a couple of photos, sometimes it's a fork with pasta. Instead of can be information about students, about professors, about traditions, and we can create also new tradition and new help. For example, precious hours exchange. Somebody who studied law can write letter for somebody who doing jewelry, and this guy of jewelry can make reparation of your ring. Or if you're Chinese student, you can teach Italian your language, and Italian can teach you. This will be exchanged 1 hour for 1 hour. This is already exists in other part of the world. And in that way, university will be really object of desideration. You know, we have already famous people as mayor of London, as future prime minister, which studied in our university, and this will just continue. Also, will be, for example, possibility to rent skateboards for very short money, possibility to teach everybody who like, and this is big economy of money for students. For example, in new country you can travel without paying taxi, and even you can put very big luggage, you know, and when you travel in that way, people will know about university because of oh, this is such a nice girl with backpack, or this is such a handsome boy, and thank you so much for attention.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take one more question. But remember, guys, in your answers, please keep it as brief as possible, yeah?
Can you see if there's anyone who hasn't asked a question?
He hasn't asked a question yet, so.
Hello, everyone. My question would just be, from past experience, students from Moorgate and Aldgate don't really participate in the societies events that are on this campus. I want to just know what initiatives do you have planned to sort of increase the footfall for the society events on the main campus?
For that, I'm going to start with Emma.
Thank you for your question. Really, really good question. And it's something that I've given quite a lot of thought to as well. I think that at this campus, you know, we're very fortunate because we have lots of facilities for us. And that's something that other campuses don't share. I think with Moorgate coming over, that problem will potentially resolve itself. So I'll just stick to Aldgate. Aldgate is a hub for creative minds. And I think that, the collaboration that we can achieve between societies as well is massive. Just this year, at the start of this year, I created with a couple of others the Theatre Society, and that was to almost, well, not to replace, because to be honest, Cray Arts was so good at what it did. The problem is with Cray Arts, it was based in Aldgate. I don't know if you know Cray Arts, the society. Yeah, perfect, yeah. Mega society. It was amazing at kind of encapsulating what Aldgate is missing and that we have here. The only thing was, we didn't feel included. So for us, like, we really need to champion this idea of creating the collaborations through societies as well. Societies are really useful tools because they bring together lots of people from different walks of life, you know, different interests as well. But they all share this common theme, which is like, you know, their brain, you know, works on a level that their brain is able to expand and encompass lots of different things. I think that having societies is absolutely essential, and that's something that I'll really, really push for. The idea of self-sustained societies that are less about making events for things, but more about sharing creativity, being able to find and create a safe space for you as collaborators to be able to go in with your individual ideas, things that you've been working on that you have no place to share, or, you know, like, you're very limited in like a financial sense, but these societies are able to, you know, put a little bit of money towards things so that you're able to create stuff that you're really passionate about. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your question. And I agree with what you said, Emma, that with Moorgate coming over here, that might solve a lot of issues with societies in at Moorgate and not coming to here. But to be completely honest with you, I think you need to look at the individual society and ask, like, why, and ask yourself, like, why should we bring them to Holloway? So for example, we have the Mass Society over in Aldgate, which is an architecture society, and I've never even once said to them, have your society meet here, because Aldgate is their home. That's where their work is, and they exhibit their work to each other. They celebrate their facilities that they have, and I still haven't found that reason to tell them to come here. But there could be other, you have to look at the other societies that there is. For example, you have the Aviation Society as well over at Moorgate. We have to think, okay, what would make them want to come here? And I think we have to treat it as like individual societies, and what we can kind of sell to them about coming over to Holloway to integrate everyone together. For me, I haven't found that reason for Mass. I don't want to remove them from their home. But yeah, I think it's about looking at the individual kind of societies and what it is that we can do to bring them here.
James, can you repeat question in 2 words?
Yes. So with societies that are, well, generally I'm thinking like societies that are based here, and when we try to promote, we have so many people from the Moorgate or the Aldgate campus.
How to unite different campuses?
Yes. How would you bring the students from your campus to events on this campus? How would you promote or?
Better if you visit our campus, because already a lot of students come into our library. This is really nice place. I can see a lot of from different campuses. And other proposition, just between us to find DJ and to organize, if not every week, but every month, discotheque with tea drinking, something like this. And this will be possibility to establish new contacts, to create new families, and to decide the future of our world, because I, as a Soviet, like to speak with you as American. I miss possibility to ask you what we can do for world, because one of the classic tell, we have not only to study world, we have to change this world, and we will do this. Yes, we CASS, this is what I have to tell, this is my slogan. Yes, we CASS.
Thank you, thank you. Let's, I'm gonna have one more question, and I'd like someone who hasn't even asked a question at all. I'll go at the back. No, she asked a question. I'll go at the back. You're from CASS too. Okay, I'll come to you at the end, but don't worry, I'm coming to you, man. Chill, I'm coming. Don't worry. Yes, you.
Hi, Jess. You mentioned the work that you've done with sustainability, and I was wondering if you could expand on the work that you've done so far, and if you have any plans for the future. Thank you.
Just wait there. Government. Oh, man.
Thank you for your question, Laura. Okay, so what I've done on sustainability so far. Okay, so basically, as you can see, we have free sanitary products that we provide at every one of our students' unions. I'm not here to take the credit for that. That was done by one of my predecessors. But what I have done is I've looked at the sanitary products that we have actually supplied to our students. So before we used applicator tampons, now we use non-applicator tampons. And that actually reduces like 97%, it's 97% less plastic using non-applicator ones. I also made sure that we switched companies that we use. So the company that we use for the sanitary towels uses up to 14% less plastic than what we used before. One other way is coffee cups. I suggested that we provide students with coffee cups at Freshers, so we provided 500 students with coffee cups, reusable ones that were recyclable and biodegradable, because obviously a lot of students like to have their coffee in the morning, but the cups that we get from Costa, the plastic lining, you can't recycle that. So, the one that you have as well is like, no, that is, it's like, no, not the one we have. The one we have is a bamboo. It's I don't know. Basically, like you spend less money as well if you take your cup to like Costa. It's like 20, 30 p less or something. But yeah, that's what I've done so far.
Thank you. Thank you. That question was tailored. That question was tailored specific for Jess.
No, it's for everyone actually. If you guys have
Yeah.
any idea of what you could do about
Yeah, don't
it.
worry. I'm getting to that. Yeah.
Trying to take your job.
Yeah. So yeah, as it was tailored to Jess, and that's a very good answer. I'm also going to give an opportunity to the rest of you guys as well to comment on that. Yeah, for the same question. Yeah. Georgie.
You know, I'm promoting thermo bottles because you can spend only £7 and you have 1 liter of the best drink, not alcoholic drink, during all day. And you don't need any glass or plastic cups. Also, there are bottles with big opening. You can do porridge, soup or something. This means will be even less wasting. Also, we have space to put sun panels for sun power, and this will be really big. And most important, I even wrote about skating. Instead of to buy bus, instead of buy car, even bicycle, you have small thing, if there's, for example, piece of the plastic, or you can buy more expensive for 500, for example, and this will be instead of big car. You can go with 40, 30 miles an hour and this will be ecological. This not benzene, not gasoline, you know, and this can be. I think future of our planet. Somebody tell we have lost 5 years for our planet, but hopefully if we use skateboard, yes, we can change for better.
Thank you, Laura, for your question. I think for one of the biggest issues that both of these schools face is that a lot of the time we have to print our resources. We have to print a lot of things. I think that one of the very quick changes that we can make is that we just stop printing things. No, we just we make the resources available online to all of the students. This will, you know, it will cut massive costs as well for the university in printing, and also like, for the students. And we're already making massive changes, especially like during Green Week this week. We're making huge changes. I just saw in the courtyard that they had the coffee cups recycling bins. This is a massive change, and you know, like the job has been done and it's fantastic. It's up to the students to actually make sure that they're making those changes as well, because as much as like between us we can provide these, you know, responsible kind of changes where we look after the planet and the people on it, you know, it only works if we actually, as students, partake in the recycling of these things. I think also like another issue that we face is that a lot of the time, like some of our assignments are. I like that song. A lot of the things that we have to do. Okay. Sorry, guys. This is very bizarre. This is very bizarre. I'm just going to finish by saying that by putting these resources online, it's really going to help those students to cut costs across the board. And a benefactor of that is that we're going to help the environment as well by not constantly rinsing our planet for paper. It's one of the biggest problems we face as students.
Thank you. I'm going to take one more question from Joanna. Joanna has one more question.
As CASS students, because when you were talking about students before and student numbers, because we're the sort of fourth best art college right now, but also a lot of students are concerned because the administration is planning to move CASS here in the future as well. What would you think would, you know, help students actually integrate into this university as a student, as a actual student officer?
Start with you, just.
Just to clarify, the question was how are we like basically made to feel like Allgate students like welcome here?
No, CASS. CASS are not moving anymore. Sorry, CASS are not moving anymore. So we do.
What's your question, Joanne?
She's asking whether CASS, if CASS are moved over here, how will they be made to?
No.
Because
your question, Joanna. Just your question, please, Joanna.
Yeah. Well, even to change that question, we were talking also about CASS students not using this building here. So how would you sort of help students actually integrate from CASS over here? Because it's a very far journey from CASS to here.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So one of the projects that I've actually been working on alongside some other students and alumni is our the potential gallery space that we have here. So we've secured the space, but we can start by having the Allgate students come over, and then that way they can meet the Holloway students there as well. But I think in terms of if you're talking physically bringing Allgate here, I think maybe there's some issues that we can look around transport as well. That's just one thing that I could think of.
I think one of the reasons that CASS hasn't moved over here is because this campus, couldn't think of the word, this campus doesn't have all of the facilities that are available to you where you already are. And I think in order for us to, even consider having everybody here, we need to really make sure that those facilities, you know, they're the best that they can be. I think that there's a lot of improvements that need to be made with the facilities that are available at both schools, and I think that that's something that, like, you know, I'm really passionate about changing, really, so that I know that over at the CASS you have lots and lots of equipment, but it's quite outdated, whereas here we don't have enough equipment. So I think that, you know, there's some kind of bartering system where, like, something needs to happen there, a little bit of give and take. I think that in regards to making students feel welcome to come over here, not to learn, but to collaborate, I think that, you know, we try, and we really try through societies in particular, and there's lots of collaborations. With every year group that comes in, there's more conversation, there's more generation of new ideas, new collaborations, and I keep saying the word collaboration, but it's, you know, it's so essential to the university process, especially between creative courses and the creative schools. The idea of having everyone from that school come over and be completely satisfied, it's probably, you know, it's not going to happen. No one's going to be completely satisfied. But in order to, you know, keep the majority happy, there are small changes that we can make. And I think that we'll only know exactly what those are when we're met with them. But all we can do as sabbatical officers is be prepared. You know, be prepared, be open-minded, and be considerate of those people that are coming over.
To make more attractive this nice campus, there are a few possibilities. For example, we can invite more people to participate in sport events, because this is real hub, real base for sports. For beginning, just to come and to be tifosi, and later also to participate. Second, possible to do gallery of most prominent students and professors here, as in some antique castles, and this will be also kind of nuclear, cultural nuclear. And on the first page of our nice magazine, we can print, instead of just simple computer graphic, portraits of most pretty girls and most handsome boys, which also good studying. And of course, everybody will like to come to take interview or signature of these guys, and will be thousands and million people here, and this will be another problem, how to make less visitors.
Thank you guys. Clap on for the panel right now. Thank you guys. You may take your seat. No, but thank you. You can take your seat. Thank you.